A lot of very positive things happened over the last 24 hours. We're in total touch with both North Korea and South Korea. We'll be setting up a meeting very shortly. We have it broken down to probably 2 sites now, 2 or 3 sites.
Tonight, Kim Jong-un becomes the first North Korean leader to cross the border since an uneasy truce was signed in 1953. He'll be meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in inside the demilitarized zone that separates the North from the South, a holdover from a war that never quite ended. When Japan surrendered to the Allied forces in September of 1945, the Korean peninsula, which had been a Japanese colony, was divided by the Soviet Union and the U.S. along the 38th parallel.
The division of Korea was really unprecedented and unexpected. Korea had been a unified nation for well over 1,000 years, but it was also a process which did not consult any Koreans. This was solely an agreement between the Americans and the Russians.
2 competing governments formed, one in Seoul led by Syngman Rhee, and one in Pyongyang, headed up by Kim Il-sung. And each one thought it had the mandate to rule the entire peninsula.
Initially, it was a civil war, essentially, between North and South Korea, but within days, the U.S. decided that they were committed to defending South Korea, and they got approval from the United Nations to send in forces to repel North Korean aggression.
This is the first time any North Korean leader has directly addressed an international audience. Kim Jong-un saying he takes President Trump's threats personally, so he has been rattled, but he's now rattling the world with a new threat of his own, of a nuclear test explosion over the Pacific.
반드시.
From North Korea, a unique threat, and from Kim Jong-un, a first message in English, vowing to make President Trump, quote, pay dearly, calling him a mentally deranged dotard or senile old man, that word now trending online, for threatening to destroy North Korea in his UN speech Tuesday.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
Make no secret that South Korea does not want war. South Korea wants a peaceful and diplomatic solution to North Korea's nuclear and missile programs.
Members of North Korea's million-man army have always been treated better than the civilian population. But analysts say in recent years, soldiers have been forced to hunt or grow their own food, even pulling their plows by hand, or to steal food from local villagers. Kang Ri-hyuk defected from the North Korean army 4 years ago.
Conditions were harsh. Everyone was hungry, even the soldiers. The UN is sending rice and fertilizer, and it all goes to the ranking officials. There are many soldiers who also die from disease because they're not given medical treatment.
The South Korean Yonhap news agency reports that after that soldier defected last month, the South Koreans began broadcasting the news of his defection over loudspeakers to other North Korean soldiers just across the border. There's no doubt they heard it. It could have inspired this guy today.
North Korea runs these kind of sham trials. Yes, it was less than 1 hour. Otto had no defense. You know, he was guilty before he went into this.
Please think of my family. And frankly, if you were brought home sooner, I think the result would have been a lot different. You should have been brought home that same day. The result would have been a lot different. What happened to Otto is a disgrace.
We understand that Otto broke the law. He shouldn't have taken that poster, but he's dead.
그래서 우리 간호원들, 우리 의사들이 진짜 이루 다 말로 할 수 없는 그러한 수고를 했습니다. 그를 살리고 회복시키기 위해서.
Experts on North Korea suspect that it was Kim Jong-un who was behind the killing of Han Sol's father in an airport in Malaysia on February the 13th.
The good news is that the presidents of China and South Korea are at least talking to one another. But big differences remain over how to calm tensions on the Korean peninsula.
The next decade will be the toughest America has ever had, unless again like in 1742 when God raised up some men. And I want to remind you of this as I finish. The greatest revival that swept America wasn't staged, it wasn't advertised, it wasn't financially backed. It didn't have broken down film stars and ex-footballers. It was in the ordinary course of a meeting of, I believe it was Presbyterian, Jonathan Edwards preached his sermon, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. There was nobody advertised, nobody projected.